Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my February TBR. Now before I get started telling you guys what I'm going to read this month, first of all, this is a very short TBR. I'm only going to be mentioning 4 books, and that's just because I'm a very slow reader and 4 books for me is kind of average for a month. Sometimes I do read less than that, sometimes I read more. However, I feel like 4 is kind of a decent goal for me to aim for. I also want to say that although these are on my list, I might not necessarily get to some of them or all of them. These are technically what I'm in the mood for at the minute, and these are what I can currently see myself reading. However, I am a mood reader and I just tend to gravitate towards whatever I'm in the mood for at that present moment, and I might be in the mood for them now, but I might not necessarily be in the mood for them further on in the line. So now that I've got that out of the way, without further ado, here are the books that I'm hoping to read in February. Now the first book that I'm hoping that I can read in February is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Obviously Leigh Bardugo was the author of Shadow and Bone and also Six of Crows, and she had another series that I can't remember the name of and I have not read. This is completely different from her fantasy world, as this is a dark academia. Now this follows a young woman named Alex, and she goes to Yale University. She is part of the freshman class. However, she is there because she's been tasked with monitoring the secret societies that are there, and at some point a girl ends up dead on campus and Alex doesn't like the answer that the police and the university have given her, so she decides to find out what is going on. I feel like there are some fantasy elements in this book because it does mention about magic and also raising the dead. It just sounds incredibly exciting and I've heard really good things about this. I also want to read this because the second one just came out and I kind of want to see whether I like this one so that I can buy the second one, because I don't want to buy the second one and then I don't like this entirely. So this is a book that I'm definitely hoping to get through in February. So the second book that I'm hoping to get through in February is a romance, and obviously it is Valentine's Day in February. I absolutely despise Valentine's Day, however, alas, I shall read some romance in February, god damn it. So the second book that I'm hoping to read in February is The Spanish Love Deception by Eleanor R. Mass. This is a fake dating trope romance, and that's a trope that I haven't yet read, so I'll be excited to see what I make of that. I've heard pretty mixed things on this. I've heard on one hand it's amazing and everyone loves it, and then on the other hand I've heard people absolutely hate and destroyed this book. So I'm excited to see what I make of it because I could lean either way on this one. Another reason that I want to read this one is because I was really intrigued by the American Roommate experiment. However, I didn't realise that that's pretty much linked to this book and it's like the second in the series, and although it's probably not necessary to read the first book, I prefer to kind of read the first book anyway because there might be characters that pop up in the second book that I have no idea about. So this follows a young woman named Catalina, and she has been lying to her sister about dating someone, and then she is invited to her sister's wedding and they're all excited to meet her new boyfriend. However, Catalina hasn't got a boyfriend, so Catalina ends up getting the help from her condescending colleague who is kind of like a rival of hers and they don't really get along, and she basically asks him to be her fake date. Obviously things ensue from there and they're gonna fall in love. Obviously, it's obvious what's gonna happen. Hopefully I enjoy it. Again, I haven't read a fake dating trope romance yet, so I'll be excited to see what I make of it. However, this is definitely going to be one of my romance reads for the month. If I don't get to anything else, I shall definitely get to this. I just want to quickly mention, if you can hear snoring, my dog is currently asleep. So the third book that I want to read in February is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. Now this is a YA mystery thriller. It follows a group of teenagers who go into detention. They're all kind of different in their personalities, like one's a star athlete, I suppose one is really popular, and one is a criminal, so they're all very different from each other, and one of them does not leave detention at all because they wind up dead. Now this is another book that I want to read for a number of different reasons. First of all, I've heard really good things about it. I just want to see what I make of it, and I feel like I just want to find a really good YA. I feel like I haven't found an amazing YA in a while and I just want to read a good one. And secondly, there's also an adaptation of this. I believe it's on Netflix. Now I haven't yet watched this. It is on my list to watch. However, I much prefer to read the book before I watch adaptations, just because I want to make up pictures in my head, and also I want to read the sequels, and Netflix has a thing about cancelling shows, and if I like the show, I mean, I'm gonna want to know what happens, so definitely want to read the book before I watch the adaptation. Now the fourth and final book that I want to read this month is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I believe this was the author of All the Stars Have Teeth, which I heard amazing things about, but I still have not read. It is on my Kindle. Now I've been seeing this one everywhere on Booktok, and there's a small sound clip of a part of the book and it sounds really cool, and that's intrigued me ever since. Now, I've heard pretty mixed things on this one. I have seen a couple of people just say that they thought it was okay but nothing special, and then I've also seen people say that they thought it was amazing. So again, this one has a little bit of a mixture of reviews. Now this book follows a 19-year-old girl named Signa, and she is an orphan and she's been raised by guardians who have met untimely ends for some reason, and at some point she ends up with her new guardians who are relatives of hers called the Hawthorns. Now at some point the mother who actually died shows up as a spirit and basically said that she was poisoned, and Signa makes it her mission to find out who the murderer was. This sounds super exciting. It has kind of gothic elements apparently. I absolutely love the cover. There are a couple of different covers for this one. This is the UK one that I've got, I think, and I just am so excited to read this. It sounds really exciting, and again, I just want to read a really good YA this year. So those are all of the books that I'm hoping to read in February. Please let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books and let me know what you thought of them. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more content from me, and until the next video I will see you then. So bye guys.